I believe intentions are everything. Intentions are everything. Anything that you do, you have an intention behind it, whether you understand it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. And a lot of times we go through life just through routine, rote kind of movements. But when we can really add intention, and we can start adding meaning and we can start adding a little bit of purpose to what it is that we're doing in the most mundane, simplest ways. That's where we start to unlock this magic into life. We start to make little pieces a little bit more mystical, things a little bit sweeter, experiences a little bit more heightened because we're infusing our own energy, our own elements, our own essence into the experience. That's the humanness within us. That's where we can add in something where we're more connected, where we're actually by something as simple as enjoying a morning cup of coffee or a walk outside, or even just basic daily things that you do. When we can add a little bit of intention, when we can add a little bit of awareness to it and add a little bit of gratitude, we're now creating magic. We're now creating this sort of electrical vortex, this electrical connection that we're having with the universe. We're actually starting to magnetize. We're starting to magnetize ourselves and become a magnetic force and field to those things because we're thinking about them ahead of time, we're adding to them, and we're now connecting our own energetic footprint into those little pieces. And so, what is the purpose of all of this? Well, the intention with this conversation is that when we add in those little pieces, over time they start to compound, and life has way more meaning within it. Life has more experiences experienced. This is how we take something that's okay and we kind of make it magnificent and we stretch out time. We stretch out the space that we're in because we're magnifying it and we're expanding it to its fullest potential, whatever that moment is. Even when it's standing or being by ourselves, we can still magnify a moment in time and we can bend time. We lose track of time. That's how we bend time. We lose track of time because we are in this flow, this essence, this moment of how energy is moving. And so time can either speed up or slow down. It works with us in this space. If we can add intentions to everything, and know that we're doing them because we want to do them. We like doing them. And even if it's difficult, we still find a value in it. Then we'll start to attract more and more things that we like. We're going to start to attract a life that we love because we're magnifying those pieces that we love, because we're looking at life in a way that we love it, because we're heightening the experience. We typically aren't going to have intentions, hopefully, that are for the best for you, if not just for everyone, but at least for the best of you, so that you're enjoying what you're thinking about and what you're focusing on and what you're pulling in and around you. And that's when synchronicities start to happen, when something unexpected in a very predictable and probable way happens. That's sort of out of the blue. And that's something of you focused on your attention in some way, shape, or form in your imagination. And somehow it has manifested, it has materialized into the actual world. And the timing of those two things hitting is the synchronicity of it. And that's magical because the probability and possibility of that is probably unlikely. But because we are a creative, energetic being, and we can have these little snippets in life, and we can have more of those as much as possible, that's how we start to create the ways in which we live. And most of that is the mindset and how we feel in those mindsets as we move forward. And that's how we create our intentions, how we want to Just stand in a room, show up to events, show up to our life has a ripple effect. Those people around you are going to mirror back to you those intentions that you've set. So if we walk in feeling less than, not valued as much, you're going to get that repeated back to you. And if there's a wobble between I'm confident, but not all the time, but I'm confident, but maybe sometimes not so much, there's self-doubt that comes in, you'll see the wobble out in the world. You'll see it reflected back to you. So it's always a great reminder. It's always a great reminder for all of us because we're all going through this human experience and we have to remind ourselves some things even when they get commonplace to be really intentional. And sometimes negative thoughts will slip in. We just don't want to hold on to them. And we want to think about what would be the most ideal? What would be the best serving for me? What would make this wonderful? How can I make this more? And so think about how are you putting intentions in your life? Where are you putting them? And I don't like to do goals. I don't think that goals in my life make as much sense. If I have a goal for work, that's very different. There are certain finite material pieces that I need to put together, and most of those things have deadlines to them. But when we're looking at this organicness in life, how we want to be healthier, have better relationships, it's really strange to put a goal on hitting a milestone because most of all of it, if not all of it, is a constant daily activity that you're working on. You're actively working, and working isn't a bad word, but you're actively cultivating relationships. There isn't a goal of like you hit this mark in a relationship and then you're done building and working on the relationship with others, with yourself, friends, family, romantic partners. They still have to be cultivated. Your health. It's not that you lose a certain amount of weight, you have to maintain that weight, and then you have to continue to stay healthy and to keep working on it. So we want to think about intentions as also standards. They become our standards of living. They become our value sets. So if you if you've ever had exercises where a life coach has ever said to you, it might be worth time to go and write a list of your values and your philosophy, which is a big task and it's a really big exercise to take on. Start with how do I want to set intentions for my day? How do I want to set intentions for the way I show up to things? My job, my business, my partner, my friends, my family. And how do I want to feel in that intention? How am I moving through? And make it as simple as possible in the most minute ways, especially the ways that like can irk us and get us really frustrated. How can I be maybe more compassionate here? How can I live this experience the way I want to look back and remember I did that. I did that well. You know, we don't always get to have a perfect life. It's not always easy breezy, but we become stronger and more resilient in the process. And so it's really important that we can set the right intentions moving forward. So even when we have to pivot and adjust and adapt, we're still able, we're still able to get what it is that we want out of it because we've made clear the intention of what it is that we want. And the intention isn't necessarily a material thing. The intention is how do you want to feel? How do you want to move through? How do you want to have that experience? This is the first step, and then building more and more in your life so that you're setting those standards and there's a way of life that you couldn't imagine not living anymore. And it builds habits, absolutely. But because you have the right intention behind it, you know your why. Your how becomes really easy when you know why you want to get healthy, why you want to have certain types of relationships, why you want to have certain types of experiences. And it could just be that you want them. It just has to be that simple that you acknowledge that I just want this experience. I want to see what this is like. Hold on to that. And then just be guided into the how. That's where your intuition comes in. That's where your analysis comes in as well, but this is where you get guided into a higher element, into a higher self, because you've set your intentions and you're navigating in a way that's much more receptive, much more open, because you're starting to cultivate how you feel, how you think with those intentions set in place. And you're allowing yourself to receive the abundance and getting that and being open for that. And so then everything starts to fall into place. So intentions are important because they set in motion your standards, your values, and the way in which your life gets to be lived in a way by your design. And we go all the way back to the root, which is intention setting. So think about how you want to move into the world, move into your day, how you want it to feel, and be in that place as you move forward. Be in that place so that you have the right intentions and you're there with really open and expanded energy and you're magnetizing the things that you want to come towards you. And that's how we start designing and building a life that we love because we're focusing in on the best scenarios, the best outcomes, the best people we want to be around, the best experiences. And then we just let life organically fall into place the way it needs to. And we're surprised by all of it and delighted by all of it. So we want to set the right intentions going forward. Because if you set any intentions, whether they're good, because no matter what intentions that you set, it will have a ripple effect and move forward. So if your intentions come from a place where you're still frustrated, you're angry, you're resentful, that also has a ripple effect. That also will move out into the world and that will also come back. So we want to be really mindful of how it is that we're intentionally moving, and we have to be honest with ourselves and what it is that we feel, what it is that we need, and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that we can move in with the right intentions and magnetize towards us the things that we want and we love. I hope this was of benefit. Take a look at the courses down below, see if there's anything that aligns with you, whether it's needing to ignite your soul and having your creative spark brought back to life, if it's where you need to open your mind and feel limitless in the ways of your possibilities. Thank you all for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.